Sometimes it feels like it's your best employees, the ones that have been with you the longest, the smart, capable people that you rely on that seem to raise the biggest objections or create barriers when it comes to changes that are needed in your organization. It's easy to label those behaviors as resistance. But what if I told you they're not resisting anything? What if they're doing exactly what their brains are designed to do, and you've been misinterpreting those questions completely wrong? That's what I'm going to share with you in this video. Why people appear to push back on change, and more importantly, how to eliminate this resistance and leverage your most powerful tool for enabling change. It's based on 40 years of research and the most recent breakthroughs in neuroscience. Once you understand what's really happening, you're never going to see that pushback in quite the same way. Here's the reality. Those challenging questions that people ask about the change, or statements like, it didn't work before, why will it work this time, or any other similar pushback, is an early indicator of their level of readiness. However, because most leaders believe people resist change, you get tricked into misinterpreting those questions as resistance. 3 things happen when you announce a change in your organization. First, your employees are going to view that change from their perspective. Therefore, they can see things that you may not, and the change may look very different to them than it does to you. Second, they have a history of change with your organization, and they're going to draw on that history when they react and respond to your announcement. And third, our brains are wired that whenever we confront something different, we look first at what is wrong or to assess any possible or potential threat first. So those early questions, those challenges are an important early warning system. Ignoring or dismissing them as resistance is a mistake. I worked with one leader who, when she finally stopped to listen to the complaints of the employees, discovered that a critical component of a new process was missing. And if it hadn't been caught and addressed, it would have created chaos in another department that was dependent on the current process. As a result, they could make the shift and successfully adopt the change. We are hardwired for survival. That means our brain is constantly on the lookout for anything that's a potential threat. It works like a prediction machine, drawing from our experience to anticipate and create models of what to expect and how to respond. So when you announce a change without understanding the normal human response, and with the belief that people resist change, it's easy to trigger a threat response and then misinterpret the questions, challenges, and other pushback as resistance. It's not. It's just the brain doing its job. The readiness mindset flips the switch on resistance. When you communicate using the readiness mindset, you interpret questions and challenges as feedback about your employees' level of readiness. Instead of responding with, they're being difficult or they're being resistant, which triggers a threat response for you, the leader, and requires a defensive response for your employees, when you communicate with the readiness mindset, you respond with curiosity. You ask different questions like, what is their response telling me about their level of readiness and buy-in for this change? Then you can align your response with your employees' level of readiness. The result? People are engaged. They can become the champions for the change instead of the barrier you must overcome. Like the employee who delayed his retirement to help enabling the change his organization was making. Here's a simple technique, and one of the first that I introduce to my clients as we're working with the readiness mindset. And it changes everything. When someone pushes back, instead of thinking, how do I overcome this resistance? Ask, what is this telling me about their level of readiness? What do they need to feel ready? Their objections become your implementation checklist. Their questions become your pathway to enabling buy-in and the commitment needed for them to take action. The readiness mindset shifts you from managing resistance to building readiness. And it is the foundation of our intensive 6-week and newest course, The Language of Change, communicating for buy-in and commitment. In this course, you're going to gain access to the complete system for working with people's normal response to change instead of against it. If you're ready to stop fighting with your employees and start harnessing their energy for sustainable change, then check out the link in the description box. And if you'd like more science-based change strategies, subscribe today. That's it for now. I hope you enjoy this video. I'll talk to you soon.